Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler, and I am the host of GSD Present Silicon Valley AI and Tech. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've been involved in 17 startups and several unicorns. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion. And also, I'm the co-founder of Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company that was recently purchased by a company in Canada. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world and opportunities are not. I'm the CEO, president, and co-founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. So today I have an incredible guest, and we will talk, Mikheil and I will talk about the ecosystem in Georgia. He's a partner at Venture Capital. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor. He's been incubating, launching, and scaling startups. He is passionate about building businesses from the scratch. His experience is literally across the board. He invested in Vero Bank at the Series E, a direct investment through Tribe. He did a Tribe partner. Tribe V is a partner of Tribe, Sombrella LLC. I mean, on and on and on. But I have some real questions. Crypto. I mean, you name it, he's done everything. But he knows the Georgian ecosystem. He knows about getting stuff done. And he also has some interesting stories because he studied in Bologna. So I'm going to ask him about that. Hey, Mikheil.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you? I'm happy to be here, to talk about Georgia, to be on your show, on your program. I'm really happy that I can speak about Georgian environment, startup environment, what is happening now. We start with the Bologna. Yeah, Bologna was.
Now, let's start with Bologna. But here, before we start, Mikheil, why is the wine so good in Georgia? And it's nobody knows it, but unless you're in a neighboring country, why is the wine so incredibly good?
Yeah, I mean, as for the wine, step by let's say before we had the Soviet Union, it was the main export were the Soviet Union countries like Ukraine, Russia. So it wasn't going so much abroad. But now, even in US, you can find, for instance, in New York, in big cities, you can find the specialized stores, even Georgian specialized wine store. Why it's good? Because we believe in Georgia that the history of wine comes from Georgia. That's this is the, let's say, this is the what we believe in. We have really good wines, especially red wine. And as I mentioned, in Soviet Union, Georgian wine was considered as top one as for the wine, for the cognac, Armenian one. But now we're trying to export.
And you don't want to mix those two together, do you?
No, to mix it. No. This is a killing
Nothing
me.
good happens, does it, Mikheil?
Yeah.
When you start to do
Yeah.
that.
And currently, anyway, for instance, many of my friends, they are entrepreneurs in the winery sector, and they start exporting to China, US, to big markets, not only to Russia, but of course Russia is number one, and then it's coming. There are China, US, some part of Europe, because we all know that Europe also have really beautiful wines like Spain, France, and Italy. So it's hard to compete with them. But anyway, in the rest of the world, you can find Georgian wines, and it is contributing to the economy. It has quite big share, the export of the wine from Georgia.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I got to tell you, it's the best wine that I've ever had, actually. So, to my viewers out there from France, Italy, it's really good stuff. I don't know what to tell you. It's really good. So, you went to Bologna. Why in the world did you go to Bologna to school?
Yeah, so yeah, it was around 15 years ago. So that time, first I was studying Italian together with English. Second is that I was attracted with the culture, with the, let's say, with the I loved the environment there. When I was like on the holidays, I wanted to stay more and stuff like that. So I had some options: Netherlands, Italy, Belgium, and I choose Italy because I really wanted to study there and live there. And the program was also the master program was also in English, so I could combine, let's say, I could combine first, like I could have a nice university and plus the nice living style, right? With the good food, good wine, football, sports, and whatever I like. I mean, I had everything in one place. So I choose Bologna, and I was lucky to spend there 8 years.
Wow, 8 years. Why did you spend there 8 years?
Because let's say since my when I have completed the master degree program, let's say I got the job that was kind of a dream job at that time, because I started working for the consulting company that was leading for that time in Italy, founded by ex Prime Minister Romano Prodi, and there were like really interesting people. I was working on the interesting project, including some reforms and consulting works in Georgia, Ukraine, and Azerbaijan. So it was like challenging, and also it was like giving me like really. I was getting like much from this work, and plus I was my let's say my normal life was really busy. That's why I prefer to stay there for some time, and it was, let's say, it's like my second home in Italy. Yeah.
Got it. So you were on the Norwegian Refugee Council. What was that all about?
Yeah, that's an let's say that's the interesting story. When I finished my master degree program, I was like my plan was to get some rest on the seaside and then come back to Georgia for some time till going back to Italy. And so I took the flight, and let's say in these days when I had to, to take the plane, the war started in Georgia. You remember, like in
Sure,
2018.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So I arrived in Georgia. The plane was almost empty. There were like five passengers, and I arrived there. The airport was like there were like scared people all around the city because it was like unexpected thing happening. So what happened is that the time that I spent this month that I spent there in Georgia, I have let's say I have worked mostly in the Gori. Gori is the region where the war was going. So I took this opportunity with the Norwegian Refugee Council to. I was a camp manager there, helping the refugees. I mean, internally displaced people to manage their living space and to have like all the aid that they needed. So it was just a short-term program. Then the war finished, and then I went back to Italy. So it was 3 months that I spent there in that region where
How did you
the
like it? How was the? So you
yeah.
did that, and then you did the Nomisma. What was that about? You were there for 4 years in Bologna.
Yeah, I mean, about this Norwegian Refugee Council, it was really interesting and it was intense, and I was like feeling that it was like kind of my social responsibility as well to, contribute somehow to do something. So this was really a good experience, and it was like strange, like from the movies, that you are in the city that nobody's like everybody are hiding from the nobody were on the streets, and we were like doing some works there with also UNHCR and other organizations. And then I moved back to Italy, and I got the job in Nomisma. Nomisma is the company that I mentioned that was founded by Romano Prodi. And that time they were expanding. They were really good on the Italian market, but they wanted to expand their expertise and go to other markets, like all to the countries that are neighboring the Europe. They had before they worked in Hungary, Bulgaria, and other countries, but that time it was like interesting for them to enter countries like Georgia, Ukraine, and Azerbaijan. So I started working there, and I was working mostly on energy projects, let's say from renewable energy to some for instance, we worked also on the TAP, transatlantic pipeline economic study on the region of the Italy where the pipeline will pass. So we were doing this type of projects, let's say, and then working closely with the governments. And this was like also the next step in my career, where I met the really, let's say, high level experts in their fields. So it was like, it was for me interesting. Yeah, nice time.
Wow, amazing. So then you went to Estonia. So
Yeah.
crypto IEX. So what's the deal? So you just, I see you got the Ukraine connection, Georgia, but what about Estonia? So you
Yeah.
decided to.
So as I mentioned, I was working on the energy project. So I was like mostly also in Ukraine. I was following this green tariff and green energy, let's say green energy development in the country, and I was mostly concentrated on hydro and solar. And in this period, the this crypto, let's say, market uh, was hyping. Let's say it became interesting to create some mining facilities for the to mine the Bitcoin. So this was the, let's say, we connected my knowledge and the connections and expertise in the energy field, and we created the, let's say, first mining facility in Georgia. And in order to have we needed to operate under some license. So Estonia was the one that were the issuing the license. So I went there and I got the license for the crypto EX, and we were covering with this license mining and also the exchange when we needed to make the exchange. So from the, let's say, that's the period when I started my, let's say, career in as an entrepreneur. Before I was all the time working as a consultant for many years, and these were like my first steps into the entrepreneurial world.
You started a company called Anovas. What was that all about?
Yeah, Anovas is the Anovas is a, let's say, is a product of my experience in the energy field, because we're covering renewable energy, solar, outdoor lighting, LED lighting, like energy efficiency, mini hydropower plants, and also working on the mini wind projects. So basically, what we do is like from zero till the realization and post realization of the project, we are kind of EPC. We are helping in Georgia companies to transform into the green companies, because we have some good incentives now in Georgia. So that's why this we have I have founded this company like 5 years ago, before working on the energy efficiency projects, and now we're actively involved in the solar energy projects. So
Interesting. And then, so you did Umbrella, you did a game development, you're doing a game development and entertaining company. Where is that located?
yeah, well, like officially, we're all the company, all my companies, most of my companies, let's say, are located in Georgia. But as you know, this as for the developers, it is not so important to have everyone in the office. So some of them are located in Czech Republic, in Germany. We have someone from Ukraine, and yeah, basically, like core team is located in Georgia. And about this umbrella, it's like something that is still running, and that is still, let's say, we're now transforming this Web 2 classic game development company to Web 3. We're moving there because since 1 year we have been working only on the NFT projects and on the Web 3 games. But at the beginning, let's say, it was like we were testing this thing, because we wanted to see if we are good in developing the games. And our first game became the hit game in the entire three countries, like Africa and Asia. And
Oh,
it was,
wow. That's congratulations.
yeah, that was like that's why we continued like working on this direction, and we were like expanding. And the first game had around 1 million downloads. So since then we took more efforts in this company, and now we're moving to Web3, as I mentioned.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, and then go to Tribe. So Tribe V. So what
Yeah,
what made you decide to move out of the venture capital side?
yeah. Maybe you know also the founder Yuri. I think you know him, Yuri Rabinovich. You met
Yeah,
before.
sure.
Yeah. So how I moved there before, let's say, before becoming founding some companies, I spent many years in consulting services, and I was also organizing kind of meetups, conferences, and I had like quite a good network of the people around me, willing to, let's say, willing to diversify their investments. So, me personally, when I start looking into the investments through the syndicates and the venture funds, so the expertise that I got, I have, let's say, belonged to the branch of VNTR that was founded by the. Sorry, so but basically I got there because there was Yuri that has a really good experience, and he has a good reputation and he has a good network. So he also has guided me, and we are now creating the, let's say, the network of the entrepreneurs from the mostly from the traditional business in Georgia, and trying to give them as much information as we can, organizing some different meetups and master classes, and trying to build up a community here in Georgia. But in general, the VNTR, it's this venture fund has like, let's say, a big network of the, we call it, let's say, retail investors, people that have experience in founding companies or investing, and it has like some uh, countries of interest, like for instance Georgia. We're looking into the Uzbekistan, some other countries in the region, and trying to build this community based on the people that are bringing to the company the value and getting the value as well. And it's kind of interesting for me. It's interesting, to be a part of this adventure.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you did an investment in Vero Bank. So how did that come about? What you say Vero's an entirely new kind of bank, all digital, mission driven, FDIC insured, and designed for the way our customers live their lives. But great slogan. So how did you get involved in that? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, this the Vero Bank is really fast growing and promising bank. They are targeting, let's say, they are targeting uh, it's not the bank for the luxury, let's say, luxury services. It's like for the uh, normal class. And we got there through the syndicate. I mean, through the Yuri Rabinovich. It was hard to get the allocation there, so we got the allocation. Then I was me and my friends from Georgia, we have filled the part of the allocation, so that's how I got into that deal. And that, like, I'm really happy that I got there, because since then, a bit later, many people have contacted me, wanted to, have the access to this investment, but it was kind of exclusive. So I'm proud to be like that I have invested there. And yeah, through VNTR fund, yeah, through Yuri.
No, that's amazing. So what's going on in Georgia, by the way? What's
Yeah.
happening in the Georgia ecosystem?
Georgia, I mean, but in Georgia, lately there are some interesting companies that went global. Georgia is a good country to test the product, product testing in the early stages, and then mostly the companies after that they go to the region like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, before it was Ukraine, before the war. and this is like the second phase, mostly for the companies. There is a let's say big list of the some accelerators of or some small retail VC funds that are present on in the country. Plus, there is the Georgian Innovation and Technology Agency that their mission is to support in general the ecosystem. So it's like under the Ministry of Economy. So what happens is that they are granting local startups twice, three times per year. So this is like a good start for the entrepreneurs to build a prototype or to have the MVP of their project, so they can apply for the some let's say some grants. But as for the big names, let's say international names, currently anyway the market is virgin. There are not so big names, but there are like some guys that had really good experience in US, in the Silicon Valley. Some of them, maybe Jonathan Tower or Josh Goldman, or also I'm like cooperating like closely with Colin Donahue, and these guys are also aiming to build like local startups scale, and also they have all their funds. One of them is called Catapult. The second one is the smaller one that they have, and there are also, let's say, when I mentioned retail, there are many small funds. Let's say for the really for even we cannot call that for pre-seed, even for the acceleration. Let's say, but there are many. I mean, I can count maybe 20, maybe 30 that I know. So the something is going on. There are some interesting people, especially those that have spent some time in US or abroad, and are coming back with their network and some funds as well. So there are like some good guys that are really active on the market, let's say. So I can say I would say that this, if we compare like last 2 years, and they made the market made the progress. I mean, there are many accelerators and many new companies, and all the time there are some new news and something is going on. So I would say that it's progressing.
And how do you like living in Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia has its pro and contra. The good point is that all my life I spent like abroad. Finally, I can I can meet some members of my family, friends, spend with them some time. So it's good point. Also, as for the business wise, it's as I mentioned, it's good to create something to do to test the product, because the let's say you can find the valuable people here, and you can build up the product, and it does not cost too much as maybe in other countries, as we know. This is the good point. uh, but as for uh, as for the let's say global view, it's kind of geographically we are not so well connected with with the neighbors. We have like complex neighbors, so there are some, that's why there are some yeah. But in general, I would say that this period that I spent here, this period gave me really big. I advanced in my career, and because maybe I was concentrated all this time on my work, and building some things that I really like.
Yeah,
So I think that it's more positive than negative. Yeah.
no, I think it's a beautiful place. So, closing thoughts and how do people reach you? We're coming to the top of the show.
How people reach me?
Yeah.
They can reach me by via LinkedIn, or yeah. I mean, the best would be the LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm like really much.
What's your LinkedIn
Like,
profile?
is this? It's like it is written here, Mikheil Didebulidze. So it's like
Okay. So contact Mikhail if you want to find incredible companies, if you want to look for interesting investments, if you need somebody that's got the eye on Bologna, has got the eye on Tbilisi, that knows what's happening. Mikhail's the guy. Mikhail, I want to thank you very much for joining my show tonight. today. It's really
Thank
appreciated.
you.
And to all
You
the audience out there, thank you for joining for one more time for GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And I'm your host, Gary Fowler. Stay tuned for another exciting edition coming up later. Take care of yourself. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay happy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.